Hey guys, welcome back to Motivation and Trucking. It is my favorite time of the year, peak season, finally, right? I wanted to come to you all today with a logistical strategy video. We haven't done one of these in a while, but I thought I'd sit here and walk through a few of our strategies with you so that you can see how we make plenty of money during peak season and how we maintain our score, how we're able to do all of this without jeopardizing our account, and just understand how to maximize on this profitable, potentially profitable season. So if you've been following us or a member, a subscriber for a while, you'll probably hear some familiar strategy tips because those are tried and true. They work for us. We've been doing it for 5 years. And I want to just reiterate those important ones, but you'll also hear a couple of new tips just because Amazon has changed and you got to keep up with the time. So in order to do the best that you can this season, you got to stay on top of all of it. So we'll go through some strategies and hopefully you all can implement this in your region as well and make as much money as you can because right now it's up. Before you know it, it'll be back down again. So get it while you can. So know your region. While you could apply this strategy to facility routes, it always makes sense to know where you're going so that, if there's other opportunities once you finish, you can pick something else up. But this tip primarily applies to the post office loads. Now, if you don't run Amazon consistently, it's easy not to know the lanes. They change quite often. In fact, our facility just changed all of the routes because they took away post offices. They gave them to another facility. So our routes are completely different. So if you haven't been running out of RIC 5 for the past month or so, you're going to come into a brand new route book. So if you are not familiar with the post offices, then you need to familiarize yourself with the lanes. And you should know every post office to do what we do, okay? This is just what we do. I'm not guaranteeing if you don't want to put in this work and go these extra steps that you're going to make money how we make money. Some people just don't feel like going through all that. They just, want to pick up a load. If it's high paying, if it's good paying, whatever, run that one route. I'm talking running Amazon how we run Amazon. Okay? So to do that, you need to know the lanes. Now, you are a logistics company, so you should be doing this anyway. You should know where you're going and, be able to logistically plan your routes. So this is not foreign to a logistics box truck owner. If you're just jumping in your truck, then that's a different story. But, someone who is actually route planning, this is important for you to route plan. The more you consistently run Amazon, the easier this becomes. So if you're brand new, you need to start making a list of post offices. I've mentioned this before. My husband has mentioned this before. We have a list of post offices that we share with a few other carriers that are in our region that everyone updates all the time. We have, iPhones, we share the note, everyone makes edits to it. So if a post office, whatever time they open, if it's a drop, contact phone numbers, in my mind, that is going to maximize on my time because time is everything when you're trying to maximize on the profit that you can make during this peak season. So by knowing your lanes and knowing the post offices, knowing your region, you need to know the terrain of these post offices as well. Something that's going on back roads or something that's going up a mountain is going to take you way longer to get to. It's a little bit more dangerous. And if you're rushing and things like that, you're putting yourself in a bad position if you don't understand what you're potentially going to run into. So knowing the lanes and knowing the terrain, knowing the options and cities and things that your specific source center goes to helps to alleviate a lot of headache when you're trying to route plan. Once you've compiled that list, then you can do tip number 2, which is
First, a word from our sponsor.
Are you looking for a roadmap to success in logistics? Have you gotten your DOT number but was left stranded when it came to actually making money? Were you approved for Amazon Relay but gave it all up because you couldn't understand their system? You're not alone. Many people hear the hype about trucking but feel like they are hit by a Mack truck when reality kicks in. In 2023, 88,000 trucking companies shut down. Learn the strategy and techniques that have helped many owner-operators gain insight into operating more profitably. Deep dive into Amazon Relay. Connect with owner-operators across the country. Join us on Patreon. The box truck market is valued at $12.9 billion, with an expected annual growth rate at 4% between now and 2032. Increase your knowledge to fatten your wallets. Motivation.
Stack your loads. During this time right now, because peak season increases the volume at Amazon, you already know that they have set lanes, but once those lanes start to kind of overflow, they're going to create additional new lanes. And a lot of times they may have routes that are one stop, two stops only. If you're looking and you understand when those post offices are open, then you know that you can pick up multiple loads. Amazon does not limit how many loads you can do a day. Of course, you need to maintain your hours of service. However, if you want to do 5 loads a day and you can fit them all into your hours of service, or if you have more than one driver, then you can do that. There's no max on how many loads you can book with Amazon. But you need to at least know where you can go, what your limits are. You might not want to go past 60 miles out, knowing that you can get back for an additional load. If you pick up something at 11 o'clock at night and then be available by 3 or 4 in the morning, then that way you can double up on that day instead of just waiting for one load and just running that one load and then saying that, peak season sucks because all you did was run that one load. So stack your loads. They also are going to have a lot of afternoon loads, definitely as we get closer to Christmas. All of those deliveries, those post offices, as the freight increases, instead of trying to hold them all at night, they will increase the afternoon loads for post office runs. So look out on the load board for those options as well. You can post your truck if you want to. I used to promote posting your truck often, but I'll be honest, I don't post my truck anymore. I don't know. It's up to you, though. That is a technique that you can use if you're looking to run multiple loads, and definitely if you want to specifically go to certain routes, then you could post your truck. Understanding your timing and your availability will allow you to take multiple loads. So those are the main tips that if you've been, a subscriber, a member, you've probably heard all of those already. So, hopefully you have been implementing that throughout the year as well, so that you're not just trying to scramble to prepare for right now. You should have prepared, a little bit earlier and did your research so that when this season came, you know where to go, when to go, and how to maximize stacking those loads. Next is negotiate your rates. So we all know that Amazon now has this bot, right? It's hit or miss with the bot, and they don't put every single load on negotiation with the bot. But when they do put a load up there, instead of just booking whatever you see, I would always just negotiate. It doesn't hurt to argue back and forth with the bot for a minute if that increases your payout by $50 to $100. It depends on, how late of a load it is, how hot of a load it is. And the bot is frustrating. It would be much easier if you could just do this with a human. There's also the number. If you know, you can refer back to our video. But once again, that dashboard number does not have every single load anymore. They have select loads. Sometimes they're calling they don't have anything, even though the board is full of loads at the moment. They're just trying to get people to pull off the board. But any way that you can negotiate the price increase, I would suggest doing that. I'll put up a load that I did. The time had just increased up, so it gave me more time to, drop off my previous load and then negotiate a good rate for this load. So it turned a, $200 something day.
If you want to hear the rest of this video and more content like it, be sure to check out our Patreon. We have a free tier and a paid tier, so there is something for everyone. The links are in the description and pinned to the top of the comments. Until next time, stay safe and stay motivated.